Hey everyone, and welcome to the On The Go Show, a variety show where two friends talk pop culture and current events.
If you'd like to join the conversation, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at On The Go with Jacob and James.
Without further ado, let's start the show. Alright, James, it's the second to last episode of the year?
Yes, sir.
Technically our last recorded episode, I suppose, because next week we're going to be off for Christmas and the following week is New Year's and stuff like that. So this is kind of our last up-to-date episode for a little bit.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah. So I know it's the end of the year. Usually we do like a best and worst of 2024, and I don't really get to get out and watch a lot of movies, so I was just going to let you handle this section, and then I'll chime in with opinions if I've seen it or not or whatever, and we can just kind of go from there. So without further ado, I'm going to open the floor to you, sir.
All right, cool. So, every year there's always a list for the best and worst of movies. So this is my list for the worst movies. And let's start. There's been a lot of movies, so just give me a second because
no worries.
I wrote down a lot of movies and trying to make sure I fit in the most ones that I saw the most. So number 10 off my worst list, starting from worst to best, I guess I can say from best to worst or worst to worst. The worst is.
Are you doing 10 and 10 or are we doing 5 bad, 5 good?
So I'm gonna do 5 good, 5 bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 5 good. Okay.
Number 5.
So first movie up, we saw this movie actually together ourselves, me and you.
Oh no.
Hey, you know which one I'm talking about?
That made the first on the list.
That made the first on the list. It's not the worst of the worst, but it's worse. But it's pretty bad.
It was.
Remember
yeah.
Argyle?
Yep. I was thinking about that the other day.
Yep, Argyle. Dallas Bryce Howard, Henry Cavill, John Cena. Man, who else was in there? My God.
Yeah. Crap, I can't think of his name. He's in a bunch of movies. He's Hammer and Iron Man 2. Crap. What is his name?
We're just see. Let me see.
Wait. Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah, Sam Rockwell. Ariana DeBose. Mm-hmm. She was come out fresh off her Oscar. She was fresh off her Oscar from her movie. I just, man, you want to talk about a misleading movie?
Yeah.
The trailer was totally misleading because at first you thought this movie was going to be between Henry Cavill and John Cena, and you thought they would have a bigger part in the film. Probably not the whole film, but a bigger part.
Yeah.
And to know that they were just a part of just a dream sequence or a part of a book, of a narration, that was just totally pissed me off.
They're characters in a book, but then they're based on real life, according to the main author who used to be a spy. So yep. She's actually Argyle, I think it was, if I remember the twist. And then
she was Argyle. And
then at the very end, it turns out Argyle is a real person. And then he's somehow related to the Kingsman movie. This was a weird backdoor Kingsman spinoff. And I don't really know why he did it like that. And Argyle is an actual book series too, I believe. It's a real book series.
I think it is too.
Yeah. And I just don't know why he made it like this. I kind of just wish he would have stuck with the Kingsman. Kingsman 1 and 2 were pretty solid. I think a lot of people like the first one more than the second one.
Yeah, I like the first one.
Yeah. And then the third one was like a weird prequel. And that was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just kind of like in the middle of the road. But like, you kind of started a trilogy. Just finish the trilogy and move on.
I'd rather you have done that than just keep doing what you got going. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And and the whole story, like I feel like it was some miscasting going on too as well. Because it was Sam Rockwell. I do love Sam Rockwell. He can act his butt off. It was cool not to see him in a racist role. Because most time he always play somebody racist.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see him play somebody totally different. But I was just like, what the hell is this? What in the hell is this? And, got all this music, the oil. The worst scene.
The oil scene.
The oil scene.
That was weird. That was a weird scene.
And so how did you feel about the movie? 'Cause I remember you said you liked it.
I liked it in the moment, but I'm like, it's not. I haven't watched it again. I don't have a desire to watch it again. You know, like Kingsman are fun movies. I watched them like a couple times over, like the first two anyway, not the last one. But you know, as far as like rewatchability goes, I have no desire to like rewatch it. You know,
so you and Khadijah's not gonna watch the movie at the house when you guys are just lonely and got nothing to do.
I don't think so.
It's boring.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh man, okay.
Number 4.
So we're moving on to number 4. And number 4 is a very, very I don't know how to put this film. Remember that Crayon movie? What was that Crayon with Zachary Levi?
Harold and the Purple Crayon?
Harold and the Purple
Did you watch that?
Crayon. I did watch it. I did watch
Is
it.
this number 4?
It is number 4.
Why did you go see this movie, James?
Because it's pretty much, you know what? This is probably the death knell to Zachary Levi's career.
Well, yeah, that and what he did afterwards.
Well, yeah. Well, you know about that. But this is a death knell to his career. And I don't know for what reason this movie was made, because even kids didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're starting to make a lot of movies now that even kids don't even like.
Well, it's based off a kid's
children's
thing,
book,
but it hasn't been relevant since like I don't know, the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
maybe like I don't even remember Harold and the Purple Crayon. I've never really heard of it or read it. I might have seen it in passing, but it's not like, as far as children's books goes from my childhood, that was not one of them. And I mean,
definitely one of mine.
That doesn't speak to the other millions of people out there, but still.
It was bad, man. I hated that movie, and that was a death knell to Zachary Levi's career. And it was very disappointing.
Number 3.
Ghostbusters and the Frozen Empire. This one hurts.
Oh,
that one hurts, because I was really, really looking forward to this Ghostbusters movie, because I liked the first one. Did you see the first one?
Oh yeah, Afterlife was good.
So you like the first one? Have you saw the second one?
Yeah, I've seen Frozen Empire.
Did you like Frozen Empire?
I liked it well enough, but I mean, if you're going to compare the two, obviously Afterlife was better. Frozen Empire did have a lot going on. It seemed to just be like, hey, we're going to bring everybody together into this Ghostbuster team. The one thing I didn't like was the little girl character, and I forget her name.
McKenna Grace?
Yeah, McKenna Grace. She wants to be a Ghostbuster, but then they're all telling her like, oh no, you're too young and you're all this stuff. I'm like, in the last movie, you were doing, like, she did a bunch of things.
True.
She's already been through the peril and the danger of being a Ghostbuster. Like, just let her be a Ghostbuster. Why do we have this weird plot going on? And then there's the whole plot with her making friends with the ghost and getting manipulated by the ghost girl.
Which it looked like it was heading on to be something else a little bit more, and they didn't move on to it. So they were just like, let's not dig into it all the way.
It just had too many plots going on, because you had Camille Kunanji. His character is like some descendant of like some firebender person.
Oh God, yes.
And then
Lord.
you had the actual villain, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think Ghostbusters would do great if they just spun it off to different sectors.
You know what? That's a good idea. Like, you have one in LA.
Yeah, have a different team. Have them going after different cryptids or ghosts, or Yeah,
that's actually not a bad idea. I actually kind of like that, Jake.
Yeah, it's not right. It's
I actually kind of like that. That's a damn good idea.
It's too smart for Hollywood, James. That's the problem. It's too. How are we going to make money if Bill Murray's not in it? You know what I mean?
I mean, because it would make so much sense. And you know what? Another thing too. And I hate to say this because I did like the first one a lot. I don't think it should be kids.
No,
I don't think it should be kids. I think it should be just adults.
Well, when the first one, when Afterlife came out, it was kind of around the time like Stranger Things was still pretty hyped up. I think at the time
it was.
One of the kids, he's from Stranger Things. He was also in the It movies.
Yep.
So I think they were just kind of like, hey, let's make Ghostbusters, but like more Stranger Things-esque, because the younger audience is going to go for that, because that's who's watching Stranger Things, right? For the most part. I mean, adults watch it too, but like I would say
that's true.
The range is probably, like teen to young adult.
That is true.
So it was really just to like capture that audience. And then for the second one, they were like, all right, cool. We're going to go back to the adults, and we're going to bring back the original crew. And that's what I think the thought process was.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at the fan base, and maybe it's just something that, you know what, it's just a niche audience. It's just a niche audience now.
I think it kind of is. Because Ghostbusters was really big, obviously, when they first came out. But as far as Ghostbusters, like in any recent medium, there hasn't been like a new Ghostbusters cartoon. There was cartoons and toys and all that stuff like back in the 80s and 90s.
It was.
Or, I mean, 2000s, no Ghostbuster content whatsoever. I think every now and then you had like a game come out. Or like, you know, you had the 2016 like sort of reboot thing, but that went off really bad because instead of just making a third one, they were like, "Oh, we're going to restart the whole franchise." And people didn't like that.
Yeah, it was just not. I was really disappointed. That really hurt me. It really hurt me because I love Ghostbusters, man. I really, really do.
Yeah, I mean it's a fun genre. It's ghost hunting, right? And you got proton packs, and you got all the wacky looking ghosts, and
the humor. And the humor helps too. The jokes and stuff. That's what always helped. Like, it was something there in the movie that you could have used, but it was like you said, too many characters, not enough story.
Yeah,
the story wasn't honed in, so that's why it's on my list.
Number 2,
American Society of Magical Negroes. Now, Jacob, I know you did not see Magical Negroes. But I'm assuming that you know what Magical Negroes are.
Yeah, I know of the movie.
Yeah. So basically, in every setting, there's always a Magical Negro in every movie, whether it be Bagger Vance with Will Smith, whether it be any white movie that needs a black counterpart to help the white lead along. Mm-hmm. That's usually like the Magical Negro. So smart concept. You know, this young black man, which is based off, I guess the director is actually him, and that's how he kind of wanted to frame it.
Self-insert.
Yeah, I think he kind of wanted to frame it like that. David Allen Greer, who's really good in the movie, by the way, I really enjoyed him, but the rest of the movie itself, not so much. Very disappointing. What they could have did with it, did not do with it at all. The young black lead ends up falling in love with the young white man that he has to help along the way. I'm just like, this is just smart. This is what you call, you have something and you just totally throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
You totally throw the idea in the trash. I was just like, oh my God, what are we doing? I hated this movie so freaking much, man.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that the black audience didn't really enjoy it that much.
And yeah, I mean, hell, like if you're a white person that was offended by this movie, you don't have to worry about it because it was nothing to be offended about. That's how bad it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the reception I understood. Was like, you know, white people were obviously like, "What?" And then black people were just like, "This was not the movie. I don't know why you made this movie. This does not represent us." Like,
not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Like, smart concept, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
It's also just like got a name that most people don't feel comfortable saying.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Obviously, I mean, it can't be no worse than Night Bitch. That's coming out.
That's true. That's another one. Yeah.
I definitely can't wait to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to say that. And I get fired for it. Oh man.
But I will say the main guy in this movie, Justice Smith, he's been coming up though. He's been in quite a few movies over the years. He was in Detective Pikachu, Dungeons and Dragons. He was like the magic guy in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, he was. Which I liked him in Dungeons and Dragons. He was also in Jurassic World.
Yeah, I just saw that. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, he's been in a few movies like over the years.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think his career is doing good. I think this movie was just like not the best in his filmography. Oh yeah,
it's always one movie or two movies that kind of blow you down.
Sometimes you don't know how a movie's going to be until you act in it and it comes out, right? Like that's just how it goes.
No, without a doubt. So I don't really completely blame him. I just think the writing was horrible.
Number 1,
Trap.
Trap was pretty bad.
Oh yeah, man. Like the trailer. Yeah, I like Josh Hartnett. Josh Hartnett hadn't been acting in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And to see him back to acting, and this is the movie that you put him in?
Yeah.
Oof. Painful. I hated this movie so much. And it was just bad acting. Bad storyline.
The storyline was interesting. It just doesn't make sense. Even in the movie world, it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, you're going to catch a serial killer at a concert filled with thousands of people, and you're going to, like, one by one interview these people at this concert. I would be really annoyed if I paid, like, $200 to go see a concert, and the cops are interrogating me on whether or not I'm a possible serial killer. Like, there's better ways to do this. It just doesn't make sense.
That's true. That is very much
and
true.
then also too, like all the music was M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's music. She played the pop star. It was basically a nepotism movie. It was just like, hey, my daughter makes music. But none of the songs really sounded that good. And also, she's not that great of an actor. Actually, all the acting in this movie was just off to me. Everything sounded weird.
Off.
How they talked to each other just sounded very weird, and just like, I don't know, the delivery of the lines. I don't know, something about it was just very off. And I thought it was because, like, well, the whole idea of the movie's off, right? I thought it was maybe to go along with the movie. I thought it had something to do with the twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the twist was barely there. Like, there wasn't really like an M. Night Shyamalan like level of twist in this, which is strange for M. Night Shyamalan.
I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing for him.
Really, the twist was, I told you what the twist was in the trailer. Like, the whole plot is the reveal that, like, yeah, this guy actually is a serial killer. Like, that wasn't to throw you off or anything. That's the twist, as I showed you the end result of this movie, essentially.
I was so disappointed with this film. I liked everything inside the concert, but primarily, but when they got out of the concert and then went back to the house and the family involved, I said, okay, well, this takes a stupid turn, even worse.
Yeah, it just went off for longer than it should have at that point. And I mean, the cat and mouse stuff was kind of interesting, but also it's like, dude, you're being more obvious than just sitting and enjoying the show.
And it never showed you how menacing this guy really is. Like, everyone says he's dangerous. This killer's dangerous. All the news, all you heard was he's dangerous. Well, I mean, let's see how dangerous he is. Other than you pushing someone down the stairs, and putting something in the greaser.
Yeah, he blew up like some glass in the greaser, and it.
Oh, come on, man! Oh, that's dangerous. Oh, that's dangerous, Jake. Oh, that's really dangerous.
I don't know, man. That movie was weird. I watched it twice. I watched it once, and then I watched it again with Khadijah.
Did she like it?
She liked it up until the point after they left the concert. Right. Yeah. She liked the cat and the mouse stuff and the concert, but then after they went to the house, it just lasted too much longer. Yeah. At that point, it's like a whole like second part of the movie.
Yeah. No, that was painful to watch.
Honorable mentions.
I got honorable mentions because I already did all my 5, so I got some honorable mentions.
Yeah.
The Crow.
Yep. Okay.
You got to put that on there. Joker.
Yeah.
Just because it's fresh. I don't know about Craven. Because, like I said, I didn't hate Craven. And I really didn't hate Venom either. They were just a product of what they were.
Yeah.
They were a product of a universe that's just a superhero universe.
Say what you want about the Sony Cinematic Universe. I think in like 10 years' time, again, it's going to be one of those like interesting things to look back on. You know what I mean? It's going to be one of those like series of movies that's like, yeah, this was really weird when it came out. Like once everything dies down, I think everyone's going to look back on these. I mean, they're not going to say they're good, but I can see them becoming like these cult movies at some point where it's like, hey, you want to watch the superhero universe that has no superheroes?
Well, it's just. I mean, I'm not going to sit and say I'm going to rewatch any of these movies ever again.
Yeah.
But I will say, like I said, the doubling down of doing something that you clearly didn't have to do was the part that was just annoying.
Yeah.
Like, that was the part that was annoying more than anything. With all these movies, whether it be Madam Web and Craven and just introducing characters. And the problem that I really have with all of these movies is they're going over backwards. They're bending themselves over backwards with these storylines to try to make them anti something that
anti-heroes,
comically they're not. Yeah, anti-hero when they're not.
Well, the only character that fit the anti-hero role is Venom, because he does become an anti-hero. He does become better. That's the only character that fit the anti-hero role. I mean, Morbius, he's not really like a villain, but he's also not an anti-hero, I don't think. I think he's just a scientist who messed up. He messed himself up, and now he's a vampire. Craven the Hunter.
And the thing about Venom was just goofy. Venom was just goofy.
Yeah.
It was just too silly.
Well, the first one was really like more serious. Like you even see the trailer for the first one, you're like, oh wow, this is kind of a serious dark movie. And then the next two movies got lighter and lighter.
They just doubled down on it. And it's just I'm not ever going to watch these movies ever again. I'm probably really not, because that's how bad I hate them. I hate these movies, and I just think that you had something that you could have used from No Way Home. No Way Home gave you
it was a springboard,
to go, and you decided not to go there. You could have easily brought back Andrew Garfield. I would have went to work immediately after that and said, "Yo, how much money you need? Let's get this film done.
Sony also just shot themselves in the foot recently by being like, oh, we could have used Spider-Man the whole time. We just didn't because we didn't think people would accept like a non-Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I don't know why you had to say that. You made it worse. Like the audience is like, you could have just used any Spider-Man and we would have been okay. Even if you didn't want him to take the mask off, you could have just had him in the suit doing his Spider-Man stuff. We would have been fine.
And now I'm hearing about them trying to potentially maybe give the rights to Marvel. I was like, stop. Just stop it.
I don't want Marvel to have the rights because it's just going to take longer to get a good Spider-Man movie at this point. You know what I mean? Like if MCU has it, they got to fit it into whatever else they got going on. I really just want like a standalone Spider-Man universe with street level Spider-Man stuff. I don't want to see him go to space anymore. I just want to see him fight the villains that I like and enjoy to see him fight.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I get it.
So I don't really want MCU to have it. And I know MCU is trying to get all the characters back, but I'm like, the more characters they have, the longer it's going to take to get some of these favorite characters that you love. Like, look how long it's taken us to get a Fantastic Four movie since they bought Fox.
Well, the thing about it is, if you get these villains, if you get the rest of the universe, you're going to have to reboot all these characters anyway, because Aaron Taylor Jones is not coming back.
No, yeah, you got to reboot. I mean, that's kind of what Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be anyway, right? They're gonna redo things, and we'll get a soft reboot of the MCU, and then we'll just go back to doing Avengers and stuff again at some point, and the cycle continues like the comic books. The comic books reboot every however many years, and.
Yeah, it's just I didn't mean to go off of that tangent because we're going.
No, you're good.
Long time, so not long time, but I want to hurry up and get through this.
On the go,
you little piece of shit.
We're fighting an evil sentient elf on the shelf with Jacob and James.
Yeah, so that's my list for the worst. I know it's not the best, but it's my personal list.
Yeah, it's personal.
So if anybody got a problem with it, they can come up with some on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
Give me your best.
All right, now I'm gonna do the top 5.
Number 5.
And here we go. I'm gonna go with Blink Twice with Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz.
Oh yeah, that one did look good.
Yes. It very definitely relates to today, for sure. Mm-hmm. This rich guy, he whisks everyone off to this island, and it's just very strange feeling. Everyone's having a good time, but underneath that, you realize something very sick and sinister is going on. If you're a woman, or hell, if you're a man and you got a weak stomach, probably not the best movie to watch, in my opinion.
Am I wrong? Is it not sort of based off a true story? Or I think people think it had like
Epstein Island.
Yeah, there you go. Because Zoe Kravitz, or the
director debut,
right? But there was something where it's like somehow they're connected to Epstein stuff or whatever. I don't. It might be a conspiracy. I remember reading that somewhere, so don't grain of salt.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely took inspiration from it. So it definitely relates to today. Very sad, tragic movie.
Yeah,
but it's very, very good. Not bad for Zoe Kravitz's first movie. I'll tell you that much. Like I really, really enjoyed that.
Number 4.
Believe it or not, Don't Worry, Darling. I'm sorry, Strange Darling.
Strange Darling.
Yeah, Strange Darling. This is about him supposedly maybe being the killer, but there's also a twist to the movie as well. And I like how the movie is chopped up in different parts because it has different chapters, so that the chapters are chopped up in different parts. And I really, really enjoyed that movie. And the young lady that was also in the movie as well was also very good. She's the star of the film. I know it got lost in a lot of other movies that came out this year, but her name was Willa Fitzgerald. And I thought that was one of the finest films of the year. But it won't get any recognition, but it's on a streaming service. I think it's on Amazon and most likely Amazon. I haven't seen it on Netflix or anything else.
Yeah, Netflix doesn't get stuff early anymore.
No, they don't. They always get more Sony stuff more than anything.
Yeah.
Naturally, because I think Sony and Netflix signed a deal, so they get all the Sony stuff.
Good for them.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah, good for them. So yeah, definitely check that out if you get a chance.
Number 3.
Superman, The story of Christopher Reeve documentary.
Oh yeah,
Really?
the documentary. Didn't that just come out too? It's very recent, I think.
Just came out. Came out, I think, in September.
Yeah.
We saw so many documentaries, or I've seen so many documentaries of Christopher Reeve's life, but this one is more of an in-depth story with also his kids, shows the downfalls and shows how he became Superman, the portrayal of him. And, you know, it's just very sad, man. It's very sad, but it's also very uplifting as well. All the things that he's went through, the foundation that he has, and it's still, I think it's still going to this day. The foundation is still going to this day. So I really enjoyed that film. I had a really good time just enjoying watching Christopher Reeve again on screen. Like you never understood like how good that guy was as Superman.
Yeah. He was like what, the first Superman?
He was the first cinematic Superman that we've ever had.
There you go. And did he do all 4 movies?
He did all 4 movies, and you know the third one and fourth one are kind of rough. Obviously,
yeah,
they're pretty bad. But it was still, you know, you still saw that smile. You still saw that fly around. And it just, you know what? I'll grin and bear it. It's like eating a bad meal that you love the person that made it. So you're like, I'll do it.
Number 2.
Heretic. With Hugh Grant.
Yes.
That movie was good. Have you saw that movie?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. That movie was really good. It's basically these 2 ladies that work for, well, not work, but they go to church and they go around these different houses and then they give these pamphlets out. Ask them, they're like Mormon, so they ask to come to these different, you know, come to the congregation, and they come up on Hugh Grant's house. They know him, but they don't know him. He invites them in, even though they're supposed to be a woman present, and it's just the whole time everything's off. Right. You don't know what's really going on. His house looks very strange looking. It sits off in the corner, and when I tell you, this movie is so smart and very controversial. Like if you're a Christian, you might not like it, but if you're not a Christian, you know, you're really gonna like it because it challenges you on just basically religion, not just Christian religion, but all religions. Yeah, and that's why I really, really like this film because it challenges on all type of religions on every scale.
Interesting.
It doesn't just sit there and just say, "Oh, there's a point at your religion as being bad." It points to everybody's religion being bad, or maybe it's just is it a factor of control? You know what I'm saying? So you have to decide for yourself after watching the movie. And it's a great discussion piece as well.
I also know it was like, I don't know, Hugh Grant doesn't play villains. So,
well, he's starting to play the villain role a lot more now. Because he said he's got out that phase of that pretty boy face.
Yeah.
So he's kind of done with the pretty boy phase now. So he's going to start doing a lot more horror movies.
Number 1.
Saturday Night.
Yeah.
It's based off a Saturday Night Live story. The first night of how everything went. Very chaotic, very much like The Bear in some form of fashion.
Right.
All these characters look like everybody. All the characters, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi, all these characters look like everybody. And it was pretty cool to see. I had fun with it. It wasn't like the most highly acclaimed movie, but I really, really had fun with this.
Yeah, I really want to watch that one whenever I get a chance to. Because it looked really good. It's also like, it's one of those rare movies that are in real time. Because I think it's like a 90-minute runtime, but then the plot of the movie is like it's 90 minutes before the show starts.
Yep, 90 minutes before the show. Like it truly is a movie. Like it looks like something Jacob would go through.
Yeah, do you think so?
Yeah, because I can see you do it. I can see you going through something like this. You try to put something together and everything's not going as planned, and everyone's like running around snorting coke.
Showbiz.
Yeah, could you do something like that? You think?
I mean, probably.
I mean, you do it. You kind of go through this anyway, right?
A little bit in radio, just less drugs. There's not a lot of drugs in radio these days, James. I don't know if you knew this, but
less drugs. Huh?
Yeah,
but I mean, would you obviously you've been through chaotic moments before on radio where you like,
of course, yeah. You got 3 or 4 people talking to you at once, yeah.
But you really got to watch this movie. I think you would like it.
I think I will. I mean, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this movie looks great. I just never got a chance to see it.
Yeah, I think it should be coming on streaming pretty soon.
That'd be good.
If not already. Oh, you know what? It's on Peacock.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, make sure you check that out.
Honorable mention.
My next movie I got is The Substance with Demi Moore.
Yeah, you talked about this. You really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was a freaky movie. Basically, this Hollywood former actress, she does yoga now and Pilates.
Okay.
And she's a retired actress. No one wants to hire her. So she tries to make herself young. She takes like a substance, and the substance makes her younger. But she also has to keep feeding the old body of herself. She replicates another body from herself, but she has to keep the other body, nutrient, makes you keep food in her.
Yeah.
And when I tell you this movie goes completely astray, it is bat-ish crazy.
Isn't it kind of like body horror? Isn't there like some body horror elements in there?
A lot of body horror.
Okay.
So, man, you got to watch this film, man. I don't know if you're really into body horror like that, but this film was crazy. Demi Moore was great in there too, by the way.
Yeah.
And she still looks good for her age.
Yeah, she does. She's not still married to Bruce Willis, right? Isn't she?
No.
She's an ex-wife, yeah.
Yeah. But she's really brilliant in here. It really shows that she can still act too, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that never left. And I definitely understood why she took this role, because she was probably like, I deal with this now, being an older actress, and no one wants to have me as an actor do anything because I'm so old.
Yeah.
So it's definitely relatable into that factor. And also too, as well, man, there is a scene in this movie that is hilariously funny.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You will laugh your butt off when you see this scene. And I really want you to see that scene, because you're going to be like, James, I can already see it now. James, I saw the substance, and let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Right.
Oh, man. I want you and Khadijah to watch this movie and tell me what both of you guys thought about this movie.
Yeah, I'll try to get her to watch it. I don't know if she's too into the body horror stuff.
Yeah, I get that. But it is crazy, man. I had a really good time with that. She's also nominated for a Golden Globe, too, as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Substance up for a couple Golden Globes. I know we talked about that last time.
We did.
Yeah, so it's up for a couple Golden Globes, so I'm happy about that as well.
Nice.
So that's my list. I know it's not the best, worst, and best list, but yeah, man, that's it.
Ho, ho, ho.
On the go.
On Dasher. On Dancer. On Jacob. On James.
We're flying Santa's sleigh.
Merry Christmas.
With Jacob and James.
All right, well, that's your list of 2024.
Yep, that's my list for 2024.
Cool, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch enough to make a list, so I was just like, I'm gonna let you do this. I'll chime
Jacob.
in. I don't know. I watch enough, but I don't know. I don't think about it like that.
Well, at that time you were working a lot.
I was working a lot. I've been watching. I mean, obviously, I've been watching more now. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you had a little time on your hands.
I do have a little time on my hands.
But I totally get that. I totally get that. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything that you liked on TV show maybe that was the best all worst of 2024?
I mean, as far as 2024 goes, I don't know. Twisted Metal wasn't this year, was it?
I think it was.
Was it? This year's been long. I don't know. It's always funny when you get to the end of the year and you look back on what's come out, and you're like, wow, that came out this year.
Yeah. I forgot to add Dune on there. I did like Dune this year.
Did you like Dune?
Yeah. I know you watched a lot of shows, so I thought maybe you might have a show that you liked.
Twisted Metal came out last year in 2023.
Oh, okay.
But Twisted Metal was really good. What about, I think the Percy Jackson series came out this year, and I did like the Percy Jackson series.
Damn, that came out this year?
I think so.
Damn.
And I liked it because they do it pretty good to the books. It's I liked the Percy Jackson series a lot when I read it. I think I liked it more than Harry Potter. No, it also came out it came out December 19th, 2023. And
okay.
It was released weekly. So it kind of goes into 2024. So I'm going to put that, yeah. Percy Jackson was good. What other series came out this year? Invincible Season 3 came out this year. Invincible Season 3 was good. I'm trying to think of other shows. Creature Commandos is going on. I've seen the first 2 episodes of Creature Commandos, or 3 episodes of Creature Commandos. Yep. I don't know how far you're into the series, but I like the series well enough. Penguin came out this year. Penguin really good.
Came out this year, yeah.
Yeah. Penguin was really good.
The Bear, huh?
Yeah, The Bear, Season 3. The Bear has been doing good this year.
Yeah, we both enjoyed that one.
Yeah. Honestly, I just try to enjoy things more than think about like what I don't like about them these days. I think it just comes from being in a media where it's all negativity. So I just try to be more positive about stuff.
So there was nothing that just kind of tickled your fancy, or just where you were like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, Alien Romulus was actually kind of not doing it a whole lot for me. It was a really well-made movie, but it felt like a real, like, it didn't add to any of the real alien lore. It was just like, oh, it's Alien. It's just Alien. That's all this is.
I liked it. I liked it because it had like an old school aesthetic, and it went back to like kind of the practical effects a little bit.
No, it looked great. I'm not saying it didn't look bad or anything. It's just, I think as far as the plot goes, it didn't really have me like impressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So it was just like okay. I mean, Alien.
Well, to be fair, you went in and you really didn't too much. You know, when I saw it, when we first talked about the trailer, you wasn't that big on it.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Well, I think it made the same comment. It was like, yeah, it looks like another trapped in space movie. So yeah, I think right off the bat, I wasn't. You know, the thing is though, it's like I think I like the Predator movies more because they do different things with them. They got the next one coming out, Predator Badlands, and I think that's like set in like a different time or something. So they're getting to the point where they're playing with like different time periods with the Predators. Prey was really good when Prey came out.
Yeah,
and so I think I like that more versus like Alien, which is like a grungy space movie. I like Alien. I mean, Alien Covenant and Prometheus. I really liked because like they were expanding on the lore, whereas most people didn't.
Well, I'll say this much: you're not wrong in not liking Alien Romulus as much. Cause I think we talked about it on last time we talked about this movie, because we both kind of felt the same way a little bit. Because I kind of thought towards the end they started doing stuff where I was like, "You're going back to that well again, huh?"
Yeah,
you're going back to the well. Because at first they were doing some different stuff with it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm cool with this." But then they started going back to the same well again with the dialogue.
Yeah.
And the kid, I was like, oh man, you guys just mimicking.
Now they did do a good job of making the face huggers more menacing than the aliens in this one.
Which I loved. I love that.
Yeah, the face huggers were more the villains than the actual aliens were, or the xenomorphs. And that's an interesting take. It's like, okay, cool. We get to see more of the face huggers being menacing. A movie that I did enjoy that came out this year that we watched recently was The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah. I did enjoy that movie. Oh, I forgot to add that. There's so many movies I forgot to add.
Yeah, it came out early this year, but like Khadija and I finally watched it the other day, and like we really liked it. I think the story was good. The twist on the villain was interesting, or the two villains you have in this movie. It's like if one of the villains did things differently, he could have easily won over the main character in this movie. And when you find out who the real villain of the film is, you're like, wow. Like, a lot of manipulation going on the whole time. My only thing about this movie is, like, this could have easily just been the third of the trilogy. You know, instead of doing War or Dawn, you could have just done Kingdom. You could have just fast forward the Kingdom, and I don't think you really would have missed anything in the setup.
Well, you know? The only thing I will say is it feels like they haven't got further along. I would have thought they would have got further along by this point.
Yeah, it's like 300 years later, and they're still kind of coming up, but... I mean, I think this is supposed to set off like another trilogy of sorts, so I guess we're going to see like more advancement maybe in the next one.
So let me ask you this. Do you think we're going to probably see like more apes, more monkeys? God, you can't tell me these were the only group of apes that got affected. Yeah.
Where's the lemurs and the and the capuchin monkeys? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because they always... they don't ever throw any hints out to any other animals. They always throw out the same apes. I was just like, so you mean tell me these were the only monkeys that were affected?
Yeah.
What about the orangutans?
That's a good. Well, the orangutans are around. One of the characters in this movie was a orangutan.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the baboons.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like baboons or like lemurs or like other like what's more of a monkey and not an ape. Yeah, they don't really go into that. So I guess maybe the virus didn't work on them because they're slightly different in the genome area. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, look at you! So trying to sound smart. Look at you. Oh, okay.
You never know, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened in this movie.
Well, let me find out you was in the building.
Yeah,
you was in the office when they were doing all that.
Yeah, exactly.
You really sound smart right there, Jacob. I like that.
You know, another movie this year that we can't talk about yet is Nosferatu. because at the time of this recording, it hasn't come out yet. I think by the time this episode comes out, it hasn't come out yet. So this Nosferatu will probably get tacked into like 2025 for us, but that movie looks really good coming out.
Oh yeah, it looks really good. Well, I like Robert Eggers movies.
Yeah, Sonic 3 is another one we can't mention, but I mean, Sonic 3 is going to be, I think, going to be fun and enjoyable regardless.
Yeah.
You know, I hear they're setting up for a fourth one, which I don't really agree with too much. I feel like you should just leave it as a trilogy.
You know, it is a cash grab, man.
Yeah, man. It's just, another
cash
thing.
Grab.
Another thing about movies, and people keep bringing up like, oh, people aren't going to movies these days, and people aren't going to the theaters. And I mean, some of that's because of streaming. And I think another part of that is because these movies are just too damn long, James. Like every movie is like 2.5, 3 hours now.
That's true.
And it's like that's the reason I didn't go see Oppenheimer. That's the reason I didn't go see Dune 2. That's the reason I didn't see a couple movies in theaters. Is because like I don't have a spare 3 hours to go sit in the theater. Like give me a 90-minute movie.
No, you're right. It's a little bit too much, man.
Yeah, and those movies work well for streaming because you can be at home and you can pause the movie and you can go about your day if you need to. But like if you're gonna go to a theater, like we need shorter movies again, honestly. Because like even Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, right? It's 2 hours and 25 minutes. That's not counting the 20-30 minutes of trailers that show before each film.
Yep, that is true.
And I've been to movies enough to know that like every movie starts 10 minutes later than the actual time.
So you go in there, so let's say the movie starts at 4:55.
You're out by like almost 8 o'clock.
That's ridiculous. And that's my problem with Craven. I'm like, Craven's way too long to be 2 hour movie for Craven.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Again, give me a good solid 90 minutes or even just 2 hours. 2 hours used to be the blockbuster runtime until Endgame came around. Now everyone's got to do like these 3 hour epics or that Horizon series. The Horizon Saga or whatever, the Western. That's like what, 3-4 hours? Or I think.
Oh man, you want to talk about disaster? That movie. I heard that movie was a horrible, abysmal disaster.
Because no one wants to go sit in a movie for 3 hours to watch a Western of all things. Westerns aren't like fast movies; they're slow burns.
Oh yeah, and they said the sequel was going to be on like a streaming.
Yeah,
because it didn't make any money.
That doesn't surprise me, but I just people talk about the movie industry dying or whatever. Like I don't think it's dying. I think
no, it's not dying.
It's just like movies are too long for people to sit in the theaters for them. Like, and then obviously like streaming has something to do with it, but I think it's just like the length of some of these films is just you can tell a tighter story. And honestly, your movies might be better the tighter you get with it, because that's sometimes a problem too. It's like there's too much plot in the movie. We talked about that with Afterlife.
Yep.
There's too much plot. If like you tighten it up a little bit, you can get a good solid film. Yeah, it's shorter, but hey, look, you can also get more runtime than theaters. So therefore,
well, nowadays everyone's over-explaining. They're over-explaining in every movie because they
got to hold your hand. Yeah,
because they want to hold your hand throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, and then then the director has to come out and explain their point even further. It's like art used to be more subjective. Films used to be more subjective, and now it feels like it's not. And it takes the fun away from watching a film where it's like, oh, James, you and I can speculate on Superman, but then you go on the internet and like James Gunn has all his explanation on the internet, and you're like, well, that was pointless.
No, you're right. You're right. You're totally right.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening, and if you would like to join the conversation, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at On The Go with Jacob and James.
You can find James on Instagram at
James9794.
You can find me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio. James is on the go.
Jacob's on the go.
We're all on the go.